Welcome to Madeira and Horácio Bento de Gouveia School. Welcome to news from a Greener Europe project. I am Sofia from Madeira and this is Titas from Lithuania. After researching, interviewing and working on several topics in order to make Europe a greener place to live in, we are going to present some videos created and edited by students from 5 countries: Italy, Spain, Latvia, Lithuania and Portugal. Let's watch the Italian video on renewable energies.
We are here in Bulicame, in the outskirts of Viterbo. Bulicame is the biggest hot spring in this area. There are many of them and they have been used for baths since the Roman times.
Dante, the most important Italian poet, wrote about Bulicame in the Divine Comedy in the 13th century. They are an example of geothermal power.
Geothermal energy is generated by geological sources of heat, and it can be considered an alternative and renewable form of energy.
It offers many advantages because the energy coming out from this source is richer and more powerful than the one obtained renewable sources.
And you see, producing geothermal power doesn't pollute the environment.
In Italy, you can find geothermal power plants all over the country, but especially in Tuscany.
They started to produce and use this kind of energy only in 1900s, and now there are about 30 power plants.
Unfortunately, the amount of energy produced by geothermal plants covers only the 7% of Italian need.
Look at these wind turbines. I don't like them. They spoil this beautiful landscape.
You are right. They are not very nice to look at, but they are very useful to produce clean and cheap energy.
Really?
Sure, wind is free, so wind farms don't need fuel to work, and they don't produce waste or greenhouse gases.
And as you can see, the field all around turbines are used for farming.
And in Italy, with all its costs, in fact, wind is a very important power resource. In fact, there are many wind farms in our country, especially in the south, in Apulia, Sicily and Campania.
But are there any disadvantages with wind turbines?
Some people say that they are not very beautiful to see, and actually they are noisy too, and wind turbines can cause problems to birds.
Anyway, they produce renewable energy, which is more convenient for the environment than the one produced by traditional sources.
Let's think of hydroelectric power that use water to create energy or solar panels.
They?
They are solar panels.
What are they for?
There are solar panels on the roof of my house, but I've never asked my parents about them.
They produce electricity by exploding solar radiation.
Why should we choose them?
First of all, power they produce doesn't pollute the environment, nor causes global warming, and they're cheap too. Solar energy is one of the cleanest and safest among renewable power resources.
They will help to reduce our dependence on natural gas and fossil fuels.
Thank you for viewing the Italian video. It was great. Let's watch the Latvian video about what can be done about reduction of gas emission into the atmosphere.
Globally, the primary sources of greenhouse gas emissions are electricity and heat 31%, agriculture 11%, transportation 15%, forestry 6%, and manufacturing 12%. A lot of people don't believe in climate change. Some think it is good because they don't like winters. Most of the total greenhouse gas emissions in Latvia are resulting from the use of fuel in stationary combustion plants 38%, transport 25%, and agriculture 21%. Goals of Latvia to limit greenhouse gas emissions to 2020 are set in accordance with international and European Union legislation and adopted by Latvia legislation.
Greenhouse gas limitation mainly is achieved by improvement of energy efficiency. Energy intensity is decreased by 44%. The consumption of energy in households is decreased by 29%, and transition from fossil to renewable energy is about 38%.
Different taxes in Latvia are used as a measure to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Latvia, our home, green and tidy, creative and easily accessible place in the global space, sustainable development of which responsibility for future generations.
It was great to see the previous video. Let's watch now a video about water waste in Spain.
Okay?
Wastewater is any water that has been affected by human use. Wastewater is used water from any combination of domestic, industrial, commercial, or agricultural activities, surface runoff of stormwater, and any sewer inflow or sewer infiltration.
Over the past 30 years, droughts have dramatically increased in number and intensity in the European Union at least 11% of the European population and 17% of its territory have been affected by water scarcity to date.
It's becoming a worrying in every single part of European Union. The increasing of the population raised the necessity of continental water. The climate change aggravates the shortage regional of water. The saving of water is the key of the sustainable management of water.
In a leak, it can become to waste more than 11,000 liters of water per year.
In a development leakage, it can become to waste more than 80,000 liters of water per year.
Homes will use around 19 liters of water per minute.
Of houses in your town have leakages of water.
Drinking water is allowed and look after it, an obligation.
We waste a lot of water producing food. For example, you need 2,500 liters of water for producing one piece of cheese.
And we also use 4,000 liters of water of producing just one piece of stick.
Exploitation places that are red, such as Spain or the south of Portugal, consume more than 40%.
Other places like Italy, Lithuania and Latvia don't waste much water. Domestic water waste in Spain. The main part of our wastewater happens in our bathroom. We spend 32.73% in the shower, 22.33% in the toilet, and 70.70% in our sink.
We spend a big amount of water in our kitchens, at 10.33% in the washing machine, at 5.45% in the dishwasher, and 5.16% in drinking.
It was really amazing. Now let's watch the video from Lithuania about soil protection.
Great.
is crying for help. We have to be very careful about resources. The usage of soil is becoming problem number one in the world nowadays. Soil is a very important component and it's in a constant change.
Soil needs our attention. It's possible to stop erosion while planting trees and bushes on the slopes to prevent the damage of heavy rain. Reinforcements would help a lot too.
Look, this soil is taken from my garden. We did our best to make it fertilized and useful for vegetables we grow. Not every soil is suitable for agriculture. Wind, rain, and people can influence it in one way or the other.
Organic matter is of significant importance for any soil. CO2 and carbon are the main sources of energy. At the same time, they reduce toxic substances and ensure natural and healthy soil structure.
Our soil is suffering from acid rain and erosion. It needs our help and support. Scientists all over the world put their shoulders together in order to improve it in one way or another. Bad weather conditions play not the last role.
Let's not be indifferent.
Let's share the useful information about soil.
No soil, no food.
No soil, no plants.
No soil, no life on the earth.
Earth is our cozy shelter.
Resources are the foundation of environment.
Let's save the earth!
Sure.
And last but not least, here comes the Portuguese video. The topic was protection of the Atlantic Ocean here in Madeira Island.
Welcome everyone. Today in the news, let's talk about the two most important news for today. The first is the weather for today. The weather, it will be cloudy with a few drizzle. Now, let's talk about the sea protection. For this, I will pass to my colleague Isabel.
Good morning. Here we are in Capanari above the sea level. As you know, for Portugal, it's very important the sea protection because we have one of the largest sea area of all world. And for Madeira, it's no different. That's why we are here. Madeira is one of the biggest fish farming in the world, and behind me you can see one of the examples. They serve to protect and sustain the longevity of the marine species. There were created dozens of nurseries for the growth of sea bass and giltfish. Now we are at Lobos, a fishing village, where they fish the well-known black swordfish, where it was established new rules that regulate fishing because was in danger of extinction, because there is no chance of females spawning and turn born new fishes and become sustained.
Thank you, Isabel. And now I give the floor for the expert on the matter, Mr. Rodrigo.
Hello and welcome, everybody. As we all know, sea protection is really important, although some cooperatives don't care about the sea and the creatures in it. As a result, fish need to be taken by some professionals to designated areas where they can breed and give continuity to their species. As Isabel said, we have one of the biggest fish farming and dozens of nurseries to take care of fish and protect them from sea pollution.
Well, for today the news are made. See you tomorrow.
It is time to complete our broadcast today. Thank you. Obrigado.